Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 828th Ordinary Council meeting of Wednesday, the 4th of December. I declare this meeting open at 10:04 a.m. Apologies for starting late. We were just waiting for our excellent students from Eagleby State School to come. Let me begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and their elders past, present and emerging. And I would like to invite the students we have here from Eagleby State School to come and do an acknowledgement of country.
We would like to respectfully acknowledge the Yugambeh people, the Aboriginal owners of the land where we gather today. We pay our deepest respects to the elders past, present and emerging. And we recognise their enduring connection to the country. For thousands of years they have nurtured and cared for this land, its waterways and skies, ensuring its health and sustainability for future generations.
We honour the Yugambeh people's culture, knowledge and traditions, including their language, which carries stories of resilience, wisdom and a deep understanding of this land. Their connection to the country is a reminder of the importance of caring for and respecting the world around us.
May their strength, wisdom and spirit guide us today as we come together in unity. Let us reflect on the rich history of this land, its First Nations people, and the vital role they continue to play in shaping our shared future. May we walk forward with respect, learning from the past and working together towards a more inclusive and understanding community.
Well done, guys. Thank you. It's fantastic to have young people here to acknowledge our traditional custodians. It's also fantastic to have not so young people. I'd like to invite Matt O'Brien from Nightlight to come and open proceedings with a reflection of faith. He's not as young as them.
First of all, I'd like to give praise and glory to God as a man of faith. As you've heard, my name is Matthew O'Brien. I'm here to represent my faith as an ambassador of Christ. I don't have much to say except that I have a few scriptures to share. The best way to share my faith is to share it through scripture and through the words of God himself, because by doing that, I can't get it wrong. So I'm going to share the first one, which is about bearing good fruit. And it is in Luke 6, from 43 to 45. For no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor are grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So let us all speak good. And if we see others speaking evil or hiding things in dark places, may we expose those things. So I encourage you all to bear good fruit. I have one more scripture to share before I pray. Most of you may know this scripture. It's shared a lot at funerals and at weddings. And it's about love. It's 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes for all things, and endures all things. So on that note, I'm going to pray. Lord Father, we ask for increase of wisdom in our leaders, that they may make the decisions that promote justice, equity, and the well-being of all. Let us work towards unity as a community, that we may be a source of light and hope to each other. Lord, help us all here and in the wider community to bear good fruit, in all that we do. May our actions reflect your love, our words bring encouragement, and our hearts remain open to your guidance. Teach us to serve with love, offering help, not for recognition, but out of true compassion for others. Lord, we thank you for all that you do. For holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. Amen.
Thank you very much, Matt, and thank you to Councillor Murphy, because it's December, so we're in the 12th month. He selected excellent students and a wonderful reflection of faith. We'll now move on to attendances and leaves of absence. I note that Councillor Bradley and Deputy Mayor Bannon are absent from today's ordinary council meeting. Do any other councillors have a leave of absence? Everybody else is here, so that's great. There will be a motion on the screen for both of them. Would someone like to move that motion? Thank you, Councillor Hall, seconded by Councillor Wilcox. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That motion has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move to condolences. Do any councillors have any condolences they wish to observe? Thank you, Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor. I rise to speak about Joy Lowe. Joy Lowe was the mother of Alan and Arthur Lowe, and a lady that I grew up knowing. She was part of the South Woodridge Football Club. Her sons both played there. She was my mentor when at 15 I went to work for Coles in the deli. Yes, I was a deli chick and very proud of it. She was one of those people that were always there. She supported a lot of young females in the community when we went to work, and I remember one night walking home from work at 9:30 at night. I was accosted by 3 people, and it was because my mum was working, my dad was looking after the others, and Mrs Lowe made sure that I never walked home again from my job. She has lived a full life. She's given so much to the community. She's given so much joy, her name, to the community, and I just want to express my condolences to Alan and Michelle and her grandchildren on her passing.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Those condolences will be offered. Councillor Russell.
Thank you. Last week we said goodbye to a community legend and a beautiful friend of mine, Shirley Fryer. You'll likely know Shirley as the fundraising champion and founder of Logan's spectacular Light of the World Festival. However, she was also a visionary woman who brought needed charity across the world, as well as a wonderful wife, mum, and a cheeky grandma. Shirley was a good friend to many, which was reflected in the crowd of hundreds who turned up in cheerful, colourful attire at her family's request. Rather than a sombre event, the memorial was truly a celebration of the full and wonderful life that Shirley led. She'll be missed by all, but has left us an inspirational legacy of unconditional love. Through you, Mr Mayor, I offer condolences to Brett and all of Shirley's family on behalf of Division 3's people and the City of Logan.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Those condolences will be offered. Do any other councillors have any other condolences? Oh, you've got another one. Thank you.
I have another one. Thank you. May I also offer condolences to Karen, Lisa and Melissa for the passing of Lloyd Finn on November 25th. It was agreed by all that Lloyd had a profound impact on every life that he touched. As well as a best friend to his daughters and grandkids, he was also considered everyone's dad. The love between Lloyd and his wife Karen began in their youth and grew for 49 adventurous years. Lloyd was a disability advocate and an inventor to improve people's lives. As a giving bloke in so many ways, his financial gift to the world was to participate in a world-first leading treatment of a genetically modified CAR T cell transplant. He knew that he was unlikely to benefit personally, but his sacrifice would ultimately formulate future success for cancer treatments for others. He called it going out in a blaze of glory, forever in our hearts.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Those condolences will be offered. Do any other councillors have any other condolences they'd like to offer? If not, I ask that we all stand to observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and in support of those they have left behind. Thank you. You may be seated. I'd now like to open the floor to congratulations from councillors. I will start with Division 11 because it's also Division 11's General Business Day.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to pass on congratulations to Nightlight on 20 years of incredible service in our community. The dedication that Johnny and Michaela Porter and their team have supported vulnerable individuals through food, clothing and essential services that has made a profound impact on countless lives. Nightlight has been a beacon of hope for those in need and offering not only practical help but also compassion and understanding. The commitment to uplifting people in challenging times is truly inspiring, and our community is stronger and more connected because of their work that they do. Here's to 20 more years. I know Mr. Mayor, you and myself celebrated their 20-year dinner the other night, and it was fantastic to see everybody in the room. So please pass on congratulations to Nightlight on providing essential support and lasting impact on our community. Thank you.
That will be done, and they do an incredible job. 20 years of love has made a huge impression on the community. Councillor Lane. Councillor Lane.
I said hello in sign in Auslan, and I did that because Berrinbarri State School actually made it so that parents and people in the community could learn to speak sign to people, deaf people in our community. And I thought it was such a wonderful program to offer local people. And there were many challenges, and funnily enough, the naughty words are the ones that remain with you the quickest. But it's a way in which I can actually now speak to deaf people in our community. And I want to do a big shout out to Therese Tobin and the staff of Berrinbarri State School for bringing this program. I thought it was absolutely magic. It was done over 8 weeks. And to Ket, the instructor who is completely deaf, I just say thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Councillor Russell.
Thank you. I wish Mr. Philip and Mrs. Chris Carty a very happy 50th wedding anniversary. Phil and Chris have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. They've lived in Logan since immigrating to Australia from England over 30 years ago. I can only imagine the changes of the city that they've seen in that time. The Cartys celebrated with a family lunch early in November, and guests included 2 of their nieces who were visiting Australia from England for the very first time. I look forward to congratulating Phil and Chris in person soon. I'll take them their certificate from us, Mr. Mayor. However, I have been warned that I may have my ear talked off if I mention Manchester City or tennis. I think it's worth the risk, though, to acknowledge a love and partnership that's endured for half a century.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Councillor St. Ledger, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Hall.
I've actually got 2 congratulations, but I'm not going to steal your thunder, so I'm just going to leave one. I'm just going to do one, okay? I'd like to congratulate yet another emerging sporting star from the city of Logan. Logan Chaffee will tour Malaysia next August as part of the Australian futsal team. It's a huge accolade for the Logan League team, who won his place in the team with a strong performance at the recent National School Futsal Championship. They'll play matches and undertake plenty of sightseeing, I'm sure. Mr. Mayor, can you please forward congratulations to Logan Chaffee for this great achievement?
That will be done, Councillor Hall. Councillor Fraser, Councillor Heremiah, Councillor Stem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 this morning with residents both celebrating 60-year milestones. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask that congratulations be passed on to Merv Richens for his 60 years of service to the community through Rotary International, and I believe you may have attended an event at the Rotary, which I couldn't make that night, so I appreciate you going. Merv is a long-term Tanamura resident and member of Rotary of Logan Home, and joined the Rotary Club of Mullumbimby, New South Wales back in 1964 at age 27. Merv has a long list of accomplishments through Rotary, both within Australia and overseas, including the formulation of 22 Probus clubs locally. And he was also awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia in the Australia Day 2019 Honours List. Merv and his wife Margaret say they treasure the friends and friendships they have made around Australia and throughout the world through Rotary and Probus. Congratulations and thank you, Merv, for your continued community service. Secondly, Mr Mayor, I'd like to ask congratulations be passed on to Daryl and Joan Cross, who will be celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary on the 19th of December. Daryl and Joan's relationship began on an athletics track, where a young Navy man set out to impress a spirited athlete. Their love story blossomed and they were married in 1964 at the RAF Fairburn Air Base in Canberra. In 1982, they made the move to Queensland and settled in Logan Home, where they have called home ever since. Reflecting on their 60 years, some of the most cherished memories include Daryl coaching Aussie athlete John Atkinson to compete in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, and Joan receiving an OAM in 1990 in recognition of her service to athletics administration. Their shared interest extended beyond athletics, with their love of dash hounds, which they bred and showed, and their prize pup awarded Best in Show at the National Dash Hound Show in 2009. I asked Daryl what the secret to a long marriage is, and he told me togetherness is the catchword they live by. Where possible, they have always done things together. And the second secret is tolerance, which he says has always been a factor in their marriage, with arguments being few and far between and always being sorted out in good humour. Daryl and Joan, congratulations on 60 wonderful years, and I'd like to wish you many, many more years of happiness. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. Those congratulations will be forwarded. I will now bring back my script, and we'll now move on to item 5.1, which is a congratulations for Michael Wardell for a lifetime achievement. Before we open discussion on this item, do any councillors have a conflict of interest they'd like to declare on this? So no one's related directly to Michael? Excellent. We wouldn't want you voting on his congratulations if you were directly related to him. I'll now proceed to the podium to give my remarks. Michael. So he didn't know that he was going to be here today. This is a complete surprise for him. And so he apologised to me in his truly humble way of saying he hadn't had his suit on, but I said the 12 years of service is more than enough for him to have on display for today. Michael joined Logan City Council in 2012, and his depth of experience in the visual arts and gallery sector has transformed the programs at Logan Art Gallery and the Logan City Art Collection. Throughout his time at the Logan Art Gallery as Art Gallery Coordinator, Michael has had a significant impact on the delivery of outstanding arts and cultural experiences for the community of Logan City. Over the 14 years of his tenure, Michael has transformed the Logan Art Gallery's artistic program from a community program to that of an award-winning regional gallery. Michael has led the gallery team that has fostered the development of innovative and outstanding exhibitions and related programs that reflect the rich and diverse cultures of the community of the City of Logan. These include curating the Journey Blong Yumi, Australian South Sea Islander. In 2015, he was the curator with Missy Knox for Mullion Go, Like an Eagle, for Reg Knox's retrospective. In 2018, we had Heikano Ahanu, I Am a Seed. 2019, Our Stories and Designs, curated by Amanda Heyman. In 2023, he was the coordinator of the Skeen Mob, Family, Culture and Resilience. Michael has been instrumental in supporting artists at all stages of their careers. He has provided invaluable mentorship and opportunities for artists to develop and present new work through exhibitions at the Logan Art Gallery. Programs like the annual mentorship project Out of Art Waves, the Ripple Effect, and the Robin Dorr Young Visual Artist Scholarship have ensured that artists have a platform and support that they need to thrive. Michael has also coordinated numerous solo exhibitions by local artists, including Jun Chen, Ian Smith, Nicola Hooper, Chris Xantis, Sam Tupau, Lei Zhu, Mei Mei Liu, Yu Chao Du, Miriam Innes, Shah Sarwari, and Christina Lowry. During his role at Council, Michael has developed and strengthened the collection through strategic acquisitions and significant donations, including significant works by Jun Chen, Leslie Dumbrell, John Firth Smith, Ewan McLeod, and many, many more. Michael has also greatly expanded the city's reputations of First Nations artists, including works by Bevan Napoan, Roderick Yukonakopra, Ki Naponen and David Marpadunen, Fiona Omini, Marjorie Akum and Joseph Au, as well as local artists Kyra McIntyre, Jessica Skeen, Uncle Joseph Skeen, Jason Skeen, Auntie Betty Flynn. There are so many, Michael. You've done a great job. Auntie Peggy Tiedemann, Colleen Seam, Cara Shields, and Sally Thierry. And many of these are hanging in my office, Michael, so thank you very much. These acquisitions celebrate the vibrant cultural diversity of the City of Logan and honour the creative talent of the First Nations community. Throughout this time, Michael has improved the collection management standards and practices of the Logan Art Gallery through implementation of the digital collection management system and documenting the collection of 2 new acquisition publications. But most importantly, Michael loves this city. He loves art and he loves the community. He's gone out of his way to try and educate me because I'm a bit of an art Luddite. I don't understand. So I thank you for the number of times I've asked you what felt like truly foolish questions, and you've answered them with passion, with spirit, and helped me to understand why you love art so much. I've also had the pleasure of meeting your son, who is an absolute champion, and you've done a great job raising him as well. So congratulations, Michael. Please come up and receive your award, and I'd ask everyone to give him a round of applause. Thank you, councillors. There is a motion on the screen that acknowledges Michael Wardell for winning the Lifetime Achievement Award as detailed in the report titled Michael Wardell, a Lifetime Achievement Award. Can I have someone to move that motion? Thank you, Councillor Hall. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Would anyone else like to speak to the motion? Now's your chance to lean in, Tony. No, he's good. Excellent.
I think you've said enough. The man's a legend. And I encourage, if anyone's in a room with him, just go up and have a chat. Just amazing story from his origins, from Ireland, which I had a bet with someone where he was from, because someone said he's from England. I said, no, he's from Ireland. I know this for a fact. And I was right, wasn't I? Yes.
Well done,
so
Councillor
definitely
Hall.
meet him and say hi.
Good work. The motion has been moved and seconded. I now put it to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you again, Michael, for your service. We'll now move on to the confirmation of minutes of the previous ordinary council meeting. I refer to those minutes and I move that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 6th of November 2024 be confirmed. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Hall. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That motion has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors have any new conflicts of interest they'd like to declare since committee? There being none, we'll move on to business arising from the minutes, and we have none. I now move to committee minutes and recommendations. I call on Councillor St Ledger, Deputy Chairperson of the City Infrastructure Committee, to speak to his report from the City Infrastructure Committee held on the 26th of November.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I note that item 6.4, declared road connection to Flagstone Priority Development Area Regional Centre, was deferred for further consideration. Therefore, this item will be addressed later in today's agenda and separated from the bulk adoption. I'll now speak to the recommendations. We did plenty of that last week in committee for nearly 2 hours, so I think we've done all the hard work in there. So there's once again, the infrastructure team put really detailed reports together, and we're able to work through them. Looking forward to my mate Councillor Bennett being back, and he can sit up the front in the new year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. You did a great job chairing your first meeting. Councillors, I have a recommendation on the screen that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 26th of November 2024, with the exception of item 6.4, be adopted. Councillor St Ledger, would you like to move that report? Would someone like to second?
Point of order, Mr Mayor. Are we able to speak to...
Oh, sorry, yes, you may speak to the report, sorry.
I would like to speak to 6.2.
You may proceed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr Mayor. I stand before you today with a sense of disappointment with regards to 6.2, project update on natural open drains and drainage easement on private property report that we recently had. With our residents being a victim of time, when these rural areas were developed, a cheap method of stormwater drainage involved placing pipes under roads, swale drains and similar that are essentially gutters, allowing drainage runoff through residents' properties which were commonly known as easements. These easements drain across property, paddocks, dams on private properties, down driveways, through yards, and occasionally they flow into stormwater catchments. But more often than not, they just disperse across properties. Over the last several years, Logan has been hit with extraordinarily huge rain events that have exacerbated erosion and non-compliance of these easements. The damage and erosion caused by these failing easements are often beyond the financial control and capability of our residents, particularly in the rural areas of Logan. These old easements did not and never accounted for climate change and new developments that affect stormwater upstream, leading to significant consequences downstream. For the majority of councillors in this room, drainage issues for you are out of sight and out of mind. And the reality of that is because it's underground and it's largely invisible. They flow through curb and channels and eventually into stormwater catchments, but it is underground for the most part. Because it's hidden, it's always easy to overlook its importance. However, for the residents who suffer from poor drainage, the impact is all too visible and disruptive on their land. With stormwater and overland flows flowing across their land, which can cause significant problems, they deserve our attention and our support. To those residents affected by inadequate drainage, I want to assure you that I will continue to advocate for a comprehensive drainage program, whether it be through a grants program similar to Land for Wildlife or a service enhancement initiative. I believe the council can and should assist in addressing these issues. It's our responsibility to ensure that all residents across the city have access to effective and reliable drainage. I'm hopeful that my fellow councillors will support a discussion during the upcoming budget discussions to consider either a service enhancement or a grant-style process for the whole of the city. Specifically, I propose that the development of the grants program, which we spoke about within the report, which was a $2 million investment over 10 years, for the residents who have drainage issues that they could apply to. This initiative has the potential to significantly improve the quality of life and retain value to their properties for many of our residents across the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Would any other councillors like to speak to the report? I will speak briefly to say that over the weekend I went to visit some residents who were also suffering from poor drainage in Marsden. They had overland flow. They had no easement in covering their property, so they didn't have they weren't aware when they purchased the property that they would have these issues. And I'm sure they would love to apply for that funding, because that's what we'll start to see if we introduce a grant that allows people to modify their private property for drainage purposes. Everyone who has overland flow will say, "What about me?" So that's something we'll have to keep in mind when we consider it when it comes beforehand, because if we want to help some people on their land, then everybody will ask, who else are you going to help? Which will be a challenge that we'll have to manage for our budget. Councillor St Ledger, would you now like to move the recommendations?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee held on the 26th of November 2024, with the exception of item 6.4, be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. Would someone like to second that motion? Councillor Russell, all those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Would any councillors like to record their name against any items on that report?
Thank you. I was against 6.2 and I abstained on 6.3.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. That will be noted, and item 6.4 will be handled later on in the agenda. We'll now move on to the City Governance Committee. I refer to the committee meeting held on the 26th of November 2024. Councillor Murphy, chairperson of that excellent committee, you may proceed.
Thank you for that little Wrap up there. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Please note that item 6.6, the local infrastructure program for December 2024, and item 6.1, the update on the review of the City Charitable Trust, November 24, will be addressed first and separated from the bulk adoptions. Back to you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. I now refer to item 6.6, which is the Local Infrastructure Program, December 2024. As we received additional projects, we will need to pass a motion to table the updated attachment, which was circulated to councillors on 3 December, yesterday. The motion is now displayed on the screen. As this is a procedural motion and no seconder is required, I will move the motion and put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Murphy, do you wish to speak to the recommendations for item 6.6?
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. We're talking about the local infrastructure programs. I just wanted to note that we had 24 projects and approximately $2.4 million worth spent in our community. Some of those things that we've put into our communities is like nest boxing, footpaths, there's toddler play equipment, safety cameras, what else have we got here? Deck extensions, basketball restorations, dog off leashes and flashing school signs. Just to show you that our councillors are still working and we've got pages of jobs being done at the end of this year and will continue to 2025. So thank you, Mr Mayor, back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the report or the tabled document, which is now being displayed on the screen? No? Then we'll put the motion to the vote. Councillor Murphy, would you like to move 6.6? Yes. Councillor Murphy has moved the motion. Would someone like to second the motion? Councillor St Ledger has seconded the motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried with the exception of me because I have abstained. I haven't had a chance to review the documentation because we received it yesterday. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to item 6.1, which is an update on the review of the City of Logan Charitable Trust. At committee last week, councillors participated in a lengthy discussion regarding this item. Please note that the report is considered confidential and there's some matters that I would like to discuss further with councillors before voting on this matter. As such, I would ask that someone helps me move into confidential. Would anyone like to do that? Thank you, Councillor Russell. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Murphy. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you. That has been carried unanimously. Councillors will now move into confidential under section 254J3G. I'll find my script. Yes, we can. I will. Thank you very much. Good reminder. Before we proceed, I will move that we table a confidential attachment as circulated to councillors yesterday. I will move that we table it. I need no seconder. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. The confidential attachment has been tabled. Councillors, you have a recommendation on the screen, which has been circulated internally. Councillor Murphy would like to move this recommendation, noting this is for one FTE. Would someone like to second that motion? Councillor Lane has seconded the motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I'll go around the room to clarify the vote on that one. Councillor Lane.
For.
Councillor Russell.
Against.
Councillor St Ledger.
For.
Councillor Jackson.
Against. Abstain with reason. The reason is part of my election promise was not to support beneficial enterprise. The next reason is I believe council needs to start tightening its belt because winter is coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hall, for the Game of Thrones reference. Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Jeremiah.
Against.
Councillor Stemp.
Against.
Councillor Wilcox.
Against.
Councillor Murphy.
For.
And I was for, which brings us to 5. That motion has failed. I'll amend the motion to a 0.6 FTE basis and test the floor again. Please stand by. Councillors, you have a motion on the screen. The only change to that motion has been the value of the full-time equivalent. It has been changed to 0.6. Would someone like to move that motion? Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Russell. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That motion has been carried. I will get you to declare your vote as you are around the room. Councillor Lane.
For.
Councillor Russell.
For.
St Ledger.
For.
Jackson.
Against.
Hall. Motion will still be on the record, just so you know.
Yeah,
Doesn't just be-
just the same.
Yep, same reason.
Abstention.
No worries. Councillor Fraser.
For.
Jeremiah.
Against.
Stemp.
Against.
Wilcox.
Abstain with a reason, please.
Please provide your reason.
I would have liked to have seen it start at 0.4 to see what they could do.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy.
For.
And I am for. That brings me to 6 out of 11. The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Murphy, you may now, now that we have resolved that matter, Councillor Murphy, you may move the remainder of your recommendations and speak to them if you please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it has been a long, drawn-out process, so thank you to our people here today. But I'd like to talk to the rest of the recommendations that we had for the City Governance Committee. We had 12 reports in that round at the end of the year, and 9 were public and 3 for confidential. Obviously, the first report was the Charitable Trust, which we've debated further here today and have finally got an outcome. We also had the quarterly report for the Underwood Innovation Lab, and we'd like to welcome our new CEO of that, of Graham Chaplin. I'm sure the councillors will get to meet him over the next couple of months. We addressed a new delegation of the Peaceful Assembly Act in 1992. Reports also from the monthly financial reports, amendment to the annual contract plans, 2024 procurement policy review, and the Q1 digital transformation, and lastly, the Transform Logan reports were done. Confidential reports on the lease for the Jim Boomer facility were also addressed. I would also like to please extend to Robert and the team for your ongoing support throughout the year, and I wish you all a happy and safe holiday, and I can't wait to work with you further in 2025. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Would anyone else like to speak to the recommendations of City Governance excluding 6.1 and 6.6? There being none, Councillor Murphy may move your report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Governance Committee held on the 22nd of November 2024 be accepted with the items 6.1 and 6.6 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, will now move on to the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment. Oh, sorry. Would you like to record your name against any of the items in that report? Thank you, Councillor, for reminding me.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. You can abstain from item 6.10, please.
You may. Councillor Wilcox.
I was the same, 6.10. I was an abstention as well, please.
And Councillor Heremiah.
6.10, this item abstaining with a reason. The reason is that this item is about granting a lease for public property without going through a public application process. I believe that wherever practical, when we grant a lease, there should be a public application process. This wasn't achieved in this circumstance, and as such, I abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. We now move to the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting. Councillor Stemp, the chair of that committee, would you like to speak to your report?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll be really brief because I know we've been spending a bit of time here this morning. We had 5 reports, and just briefly, we received an update on the Logan to Gold Coast Faster Rail project, and Council continue to advocate for the best possible outcomes for our community. Council officers are continuing to work towards a resolution of the outstanding matters arising from the first state interest review of the draft Logan plan, so we can get out to public consultation. We had a report regarding entering a new trial of the ongoing e-mobility services in Logan, and had 2 environmental reports. Certainly plenty happening in our directorate, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. Would anyone else like to speak to the recommendations of this report? There being none, Councillor Stemp, you may move your report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 27th of November be adopted.
Councillor Stemp has moved the motion. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Russell. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Would any councillors like to record their name against any items on that report? Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I was against item 6.3.
That will be noted. And Councillor Wilcox.
I abstained against 6.3, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. That will be noted as well. We now move to the City Live. Oh, sorry, Councillor Heremiah.
Against 6.2 and 6.4.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. We now move to the City Lifestyle Committee. Councillor Hall, chair of that committee. Would you like to speak to your report?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I note that item 6.3, determination of the Community Benefit Fund request Star Community Services Ltd was deferred for further consideration. Therefore, this item will be addressed later in today's agenda during council reports and separated from the bulk adoption. I'll now speak to the remainder of our recommendations. At the City Lifestyle Committee meeting last week, councillors were provided with an update on council's sporting and community infrastructure related projects for Q1 for the 2024-2025 financial year. Over the past quarter, the Sports and Community Infrastructure branch have been progressing, planning and delivering projects related to community infrastructure plan and sports infrastructure plan and other major sporting and community infrastructure projects. Councillors were also provided with a preview of the proposed Logan Art Gallery exhibition program for 2025, consistent with Council's Logan Art Gallery exhibition policy. The 2025 exhibition program follows 2 major themes, which are exploring the diversity of Logan's artists' works and bringing to Logan significant touring exhibitions from around Australia. 2025 is a big year for the Logan Gallery as it celebrates its 30th anniversary of its opening. The planned exhibition for 2025 nurtures and explores the diversity of Logan artists' work and ensures all community interests are met in its wide-ranging program. The final report presented to councillors was confidential and related to a community sports development proposal. We look forward to being able to share further details of this in the future. Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move the recommendations of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 27th of November 2024 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Before you move that recommendation, I'll just see if anyone else would like to speak to the report. There being none, you have moved. Would someone like to second? Thank you, Councillor Jackson. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That motion has been carried unanimously. Would any councillors like to record their name against any items? Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you. I was an abstention on 7.1.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. That will be noted. Anyone else? No? Excellent. Good job, Councillor Hall. Councillors, we will now move to council reports and we'll begin with item 10.1, which is a deferred report for the declared road connection to Flagstone Priority Development Area Regional Centre. Councillor Wilcox, this was deferred after consideration in committee to finalise the details. Would you like to speak to this recommendation before you move the report?
Can we put up the recommendations so I can speak to the
We can.
Yep.
There is a recommendation on the screen. That is alternate 2, yes.
Do you want me to stand for this?
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Mr Mayor. After careful consideration, I support the motion that was sent through to me being number 2. This motion has been a work in progress for some time and today we have a plan. I'm looking forward to the advocacy from yourself, Mr Mayor, regarding the road infrastructure that is so desperately needed, not just for the state-led Flagstone PDA, but for the surrounding areas so that they all have access to roads that aren't gridlocked due to the population growth. It quite simply isn't good enough that it's gridlocked. We hear from the state government all the time that councils need to open up more land for housing and development. Except in the PDA, it's nearly to the point where no more blocks can be released or sold due to the lack of road infrastructure that it's now classed as dangerous. I'm also hearing from developers, residents and motorists in the area that without the roads and the infrastructure being upgraded, people simply don't want to move out there. They don't want to move there, they don't want to bring their businesses out there because of the fact it takes them so long to get there. The traffic comes to a standstill and we often hear it on the radio in the morning and the afternoons on the traffic that it's gridlocked. So thank you, Mr Mayor, for your advocacy, and I'm hoping that when you meet with the Minister that you allow me as the Divisional Councillor to accompany you on that visit and be part of the discussions so that I can speak firsthand on what the residents have to deal with out there. To the residents and the motorists out there that have to drive these roads daily, please note that my advocacy will not falter regarding the lack of road infrastructure, and I won't stop until I see it delivered, because quite frankly, it is a state-led PDA with no infrastructure leading into and out of it with 140,000 residents planned for the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. I'll go to Councillor Lane in one moment. Would you be comfortable with me changing the word satellite city to regional centre? Thank you. Could you make that amendment? Councillor Lane.
Thanks. Can we spell the highway correctly? Lindsay's got an E in it.
Linda Say. Councillor Stem.
Sorry, Mr Mayor, we've got an extra "the" in part A as well.
Sorry, Councillor Stem, you want an extra "the"?
Sorry, it says regional connection to the both the state declared. Should it be?
Oh, yeah. Yep. We should take that "the" and put it after that, because it's normally the state government. So that the state government provide a funding commitment to the upgrade of roads necessary to achieve an appropriate regional connection to both the state declared Mount Lindesay Highway and the South East Queensland Public Transport Network in Springfield. So there's a "the" before the "both." And if you change the word satellite city in the top paragraph to say regional centre. Or urban centre, either way. Oh, and in B as well. It originally said regional centre, they changed it to satellite city.
It will eventually be a satellite city, just
When it
without
gets its own council, it can be, when it gets its own council, it can be called a city. Until such time, it is a centre.
We just need the roads to get there first,
Yeah, that's
Mr.
right.
Mayor.
I just want the roads there. In the meantime, I don't want them thinking they're a city. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Councillors, there is a amended motion on the screen. Councillor Wilcox, are you happy to move that motion? Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried with the exception of Councillor Jeremiah. How do you vote?
Abstain with the reason.
Please provide one.
This was discussed in length in committee. The issue with this motion is point B regarding the assumption that redeclaring a road may lead to road upgrades. I don't think that assumption is based in fact. The roads need to be upgraded. I think we should keep the solutions open rather than narrowing it so early in the process.
Thank you, Councillor Heremaier. Councillors, that reason will be noted. Councillors will now move to 10.2, which is a deferred report for the determination of community benefit funding request for Star Community Services Limited. We do have Michelle Griffin in the room as the Community Development Program Leader, should you have any questions, but it's a relatively simple report, so I'm sure she will not be needed. That allows Councillor Lane to contribute to this worthy cause. Councillors, do you have any questions on the report that is on the screen? There being none, Councillor Lane, are you happy to move this report, or do you want to speak to it?
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'm not contributing. Division 2 is contributing.
Of course. Actually, you are contributing because it's discretion of the councillor. But it is from your Division 2 Community Benefit Fund. I will clarify that. Would you like to move that motion, Councillor Lane? Sure. Would someone like to second that? Thank you, Councillor Stamp. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, we will now move to late reports. We have none, and petitions, we also have none. There are no consideration of notified motions, and we will get stuck into general business. Division 11 is starting, but I'm going to gazump you with the powers of the Mayor to do my Christmas wish first, then I'll tag off to you. I know. I had to pull rank just once. I wanted to all the residents of Logan, but also in particular to the staff in this building, 2024 has been a huge year. And so many people, when I'm there for the corporate inductions with the CEO, I'm talking to them about the high expectations our community has of our staff and how grateful they are when our staff perform above and beyond expectations. Has been incredible this year. The response from staff when you encourage them and tell them how valued they are and how appreciated they are by the community is quite overwhelming, because I think often, especially if they're not frontline staff, they aren't aware of how grateful people are of the service that they receive. But I think the vast majority of the city appreciates everything that this council does. I wish to wish everybody in the city a very Merry Christmas. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to your fur babies, and hug the ones you love. Whatever you're doing for Christmas, make sure you do it safely. And if we do have any more storms, please don't drive in floodwaters. To the CEO and the ELT team, thank you for all your support this year. I could not do the work as Mayor without the hard work of your team and the effort that you go to provide me often with information at very short notice so that we can go into situations with the best opportunities for our city. To councillors, thank you for representing your community so well and for being advocates for every corner of the city to make sure that everybody receives the support that they need from council. And to my office and my staff, thank you so much for putting up with me. I know I'm hard to work for and I appreciate you very much. Have a very Merry Christmas, everyone. And now I will hand off to Councillor Wilcox to begin general business.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. As we come into the rainy and the wet season leading into Christmas, I'd like to remind residents that you can always refer to our disaster dashboard for where to get information regarding roads that are flooding, closed, and where our flood cameras are. Division 11 has a new flood camera on New Beath Road, and we're waiting for another one to be installed at Stony Camp, which is fantastic. But with all the rain that we've recently had, it's a friendly reminder to people, don't drive through floodwaters. I got a text message on Sunday from a resident, Sherry, who is one of my furthest reaching residents out in Division 11, to let me know that some of Division 11 roads were starting to wash away and were compromised, and that they were isolated. They actually couldn't leave home because literally there was no road anymore. Thank you to Mr Darryl Riley and Mr Stephen Bell. I texted them and emailed them late Sunday afternoon going, heads up, roads are starting to collapse out there. They got onto it straight away. I think they actually had crews out there Sunday afternoon just checking on the roads and that sort of thing. This morning, Sherry has texted me to say a huge thank you to the crews. They've done a quick fix on the road so that the residents can get out. If you can update me what further work will get done a bit later so I can let Sherry know, because they still can't get There's some other things in and out, trailers and tractors and stuff like that. So if you can give me an update later today, but they're very appreciative out there that we got onto it so quickly. So thank you very much. I'd also like to wish everyone, as you have just done, a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as we're quickly coming to the end of another year. We have so many amazing holiday events that are happening across the city. The other day I actually did put up a post on my own social media listing all of the events in Division 11 and the fact that this Saturday we actually have the Logan City Christmas carols on at KBF. So Merry Christmas to everyone. I can't wait to celebrate with everyone. I actually must thank my eldest daughter Zoe, who's finished school. She's at home. She's been making reindeer food for me. She knows I give it out every year to kids at events, and she's been busily making hundreds of bags of reindeer food for me. So thank you, honey, and I'll be home to check on you to see how many more you made. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy. Councillor Lang.
Okay, settle in, it's going to be a while. So from scouts to sowers, from culture to community, from our newest born to our knowledgeable elders, and from our artists to our athletes, Division 2 has had some really magic moments in 2024 that will bring a smile and a few giggles, honestly, when memories of the events are recalled. We've celebrated many more cultural events created from communities living in 4114 than anywhere else in Logan and indeed our state. Our African friends have brought us moments of joy listening to their drummers call out across the community with complete abandon and joy. Our Asian communities continue to grow from strength to strength, showcasing their origins through festivals and food, while our Middle East community quietly set about building a life of peace and harmony. Our Kiwi and Pacifica communities' love of dance and song and food, quite frankly, make our area a wonderful and harmonious place to live, while our multi-generational Aussies soak up the atmosphere, working hard and enjoying lifestyles that our community projects create. Together, our kids are growing great guns in school and in life, with grades rising to greater levels than we've had in decades, and kindness being the new cool amongst young children. They're succeeding in the sporting arena, in the arts, most wonderfully across the board in educational outcomes. While most people flourish, some have rougher roads to walk. But there are always people that will have their backs to listen and to lend a hand. From police to pollies, principals to preachers, health workers to helpers, friends and families, there's always a community of kind-hearted people happy to give others a hand up, not necessarily a hand out. We've had success building our community and creating spaces that bring us together. From the Wilbur Street Youth Centre to the refurbished community facilities in Division 2, Lakota's support for seniors and Kingston Butter Factory's activation for NAIDOC and Waitangi Day, youth festivals and other special events. We're part of the heart of the city. We are the heart of the city in Division 2. I say that a lot, but I really do believe it. Our elders and amputees have created programs that encompass the whole community. Our sporting clubs have created supportive spaces to get active while kicking butt against other clubs. Rugby league, football, netball, darts, 10-pin bowling, sepak takraw, futsal, volleyball, badminton, handball, athletics, you name it, we play it and we dominate it. That's the reality. Our strength in Division 2 is that we know our worth and we're happy to make do, and we can stretch a dollar further than most people could ever dream of. With 13 schools, more than 30,000 people and over 100 very different community groups, all vying for the same small pot of Division 2 Community Benefit Fund, I'm grateful for my colleagues in this room for actually chipping in so that some of these local projects can get off the ground, so that they can be supported and also bring joy to your local residents. I really want to say a genuine thank you for the money that you put in this year. It makes a big difference and brings joy to people across the city. Mr Mayor, I heard it said that politics brings out the worst in people, but my comments today showed that is not the case here in Logan, and indeed with this council cohort. We've worked well together for the good of Logan. We share resources, we argue ideas, we share residents' dreams and hopes for our city's future, and we're united in chasing every dollar from our federal and state colleagues to get what we need. I want to acknowledge Jim Chalmers, Cameron Dick and Shannon Fentiman, whose electorates encompass my division and whose support and advocacy has meant we've achieved great outcomes that really do impact positively on people's lives. To council staff, our CEO and particularly his Chief of Staff, his poor Chief of Staff, our Level 5 admin team and of course the executive leadership team, thank you so much for the work that you do. It's noted and it really is appreciated by the community. You're the faceless people, but you actually do so much that impact people's lives in such a positive way. Lastly, to those I positively impacted this year, thanks for giving me the opportunity to work on your behalf and supporting me to do so for another 4 years. To those whom I annoyed or angered this year, I'll be sure to maintain momentum in 2025. Merry Christmas, Mr Mayor and councillors.
Good to know that you'll continue to annoy people with gusto next year, Councillor Lane. An excellent Christmas wish. Thank you very much. Councillor Russell.
Geez, I do not want to follow that. All right, I'm going to keep things simple and sweet. I want to wish the residents of our city and the extended team of Logan City Council and the people that I'm lucky to work with, especially the ones upstairs waiting for us to go and do Secret Santa, a well-deserved rest and some extra time with their loved ones. My team and I are already looking forward to jumping enthusiastically into 2025 with the community's ideas to improve Division 3 and the City of Logan. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Councillor St Ledger.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I don't have anything prepared as much as Councillor Lane, but I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone, particularly the staff in the building. As a new councillor, to have their help and support for the first 8 months is, I can't thank you all enough. So I thank the community, their support as well. To all the dads out there at Christmas time, I hope you all look forward to the surprise Christmas day of getting the same surprise your kids get, of finding out what they're getting for Christmas that morning as well, because that certainly happens in my household. And be safe, don't drink and drive, don't drive in flood waters, and be kind to your mothers. Cheers.
Thank you, Councillor St Ledger. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you. Shout out to Division 5, awesome people. Merry Christmas to you all. Particularly, I wanted to highlight the Marsden Scouts. We had our first Division 5 planting day, helping re-veg some of the banks of Scrubby Creek in Marsden. And shout out to the community, volunteers came, but the Scouts came in droves. Marsden Scouts, such an awesome grassroots community of people, more than 80 young people, boys and girls, part of the group. Heaps of mums and dads involved. I've been involved in a lot of youth groups over my years, but this thing is pretty substantial. The number of parents that are involved with their kids every week doing activities for the community. So they brought along about 20 from really young ones through to grandmothers coming and supporting their kids. They planted, well, it was supposed to be a 3-hour project of 200 plus trees, was done in 45 minutes. We're out there, we spent more time at the barbecue than we did planting trees. So shout out to council staff who got all that organised for us, prepped up and planned. It was a fantastic morning. So thank you to Marsden Scouts and all the residents that came out and volunteered.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Please turn your microphone off. Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm so glad we're at the end of the year when we can get into the spirit of Christmas. You'll notice that me and Councillor Fraser are wearing our Christmas ties. I offered a Christmas attire to everyone, but it was only my buddy Tim accepted. These ties were gotten from my mother. She got them from the tip shop. And last term, everyone was asking what the smell was. It was the ties. I don't know if she washed them or not. But anyway, I suggest everyone have a look at the tip shop. There's many toys out there that need a bit of love. But most of all, I'd like to, what is Christmas about? A lot of people think Christmas is about watching Love Actually for the 14th time with your family, or the Polar Express. Does everybody know that the entire cast of Polar Express is Tom Hanks? The whole movie is Tom Hanks. I'd like to wish a Merry Christmas to every one of you. To the lifestyle team, Brad White, where would I be without you, mate? The team has just gone up and done some great things this year. Just want to remind everyone to be careful on our roads. I did lose a brother one Christmas on the roads during Christmas, and it can just be that you just drive 10 kilometres slower and just be a bit more careful, because you don't want to lose your life at Christmas. Be there for your family. Please don't drink and drive. Go sleep in your car. Go sleep in the couch. Whatever you need to do, just don't drink and drive at all, because you're the most important thing for your family at this time of Christmas. So just think about that. And once again, reach out to those in your family that you may have not have spoken to in a while, because we've all got family all over the place and they probably haven't heard from us. Get in touch with them and say Merry Christmas. Now's the time to make friends. So everybody, Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor Fraser.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So all I'd like to do is just wish every resident a Merry Christmas and all the staff.
Thank you for everything that you do. You make us look amazing, and just everyone have a lovely break where possible and enjoy your Christmas and New Year. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Fraser. Councillor Heremiah.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I rise today to speak on an important issue in Division 8 and also recognise a community petition. Now, there were once 3 peaceful streets in Heritage Park by the names of Ascot Street, Doncaster Street and Goodwood Street. Now, unfortunately, as of recent times, they are less peaceful and they've noticed serious dangerous driving, speeding through this residential area that puts families and kids at risk. So the neighbourhood has come together and put together a community petition with over 60 signatures attached, and they're asking for some safety features. We've already secured funding to install a brand new safety footpath for pedestrians, but we're not going to stop there. I have a meeting with the traffic engineers in the City Council this afternoon and will be personally raising the serious issues to do with road safety in this area. I'd like to say a big thank you to Paul from Heritage Park for organising the community petition. I look forward to seeing some good results. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I certainly would also like to share the sentiments of the fact that it's been a big year. It feels like it's been a massive year this year. I want to take a moment to thank my fellow councillors for all your support. My advisor Lily up the back, our CEO Darren, all of the directors, managers, program leaders and other staff and contractors throughout the organisation for your hard work and assistance throughout the year. Also want to wish my community a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. And just let you know about a couple of quick events that are coming up before Christmas. One being this Saturday, we are having a community event at the wonderful Alexander Clark Park from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. with a coffee van, sausage sizzle, koala cookies, face painting, giveaways and council information, and it's going to be a beautiful day. And I'll also be holding my Christmas Eve mobile office at Canoobia Shopping Centre and the IG8 at Logan Home on the morning of Christmas Eve, spreading Christmas cheer, and if you're in the area, pop by and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. I will pop by and say hello. Mr CEO, did you want to wish the organisation a Merry Christmas?
You're both, Mr Mayor, so thank you. On behalf of the organisation, I'd like to wish the council a Merry Christmas. We've enjoyed working with the organisation, between the organisation and the council very much. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable year, and we look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow at the next special budget committee. But beyond that, a Merry Christmas, and already looking forward to a great 2025. To the organisation, once again, very impressed with the work it's always doing, and a Merry Christmas to them, but I'll be having further conversation with the organisation closer to the actual day.
Thank you, Mr CEO. Stole my thunder to remind the community that just because this is the last council meeting doesn't mean the work stops. We're doing budget meetings tomorrow, and your councillors will be out in the community working hard as they always do all the way through into the break. I'd like to give a special thank you to the corporate meetings team who makes us look good during these meetings, and we'll be making sure that we function effectively tomorrow when we're doing the special budget committee. And a huge shout out to my family, particularly the mayoress, because I know she's watching and going, I can't believe you forgot me, John. Thank you very much to everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas. I close this meeting at 12:24.